We are making our way to the cemetery.
You are trespassing. Please leave the area. This area is under video surveillance and you have been recorded.
Hello everyone, here we are at a cemetery, a place called Spadra, and we're going to be walking right down this road.
Alright, there's some low-hanging bushes and also there's a fence or two knocked over. So if you stay in the middle, you should be fine. Or sometimes they rumble through at like 70 miles an hour.
We are making our way to the cemetery.
And over here there's a broken grade, so be careful right there.
Broken grade?
Well, thinking broken like this, so.
So we have holes throughout the property, but here's an example of one. So we have like gophers and things that will actually dig down to the graves and sometimes pull out bones and skull, pieces and things. So be careful what you step on. It's not just leaves and, watch where you step.
The nearby Spadra Cemetery is notoriously difficult to get into, usually guarded by a locked wrought iron fence, and it is located across the train tracks hidden under the 57 freeway. Spadra can be even more difficult to find.
His family all out here, and there's a lot of people who came out here after the Civil War, both on the north and the south. You have to think about it, if you just wanted to escape and start over, you just kind of kept going west and west, and really you could start a whole new name right if you wanted to too, no one could really find you.
This well-hidden cemetery in Los Angeles County once serviced the frontier town of Spadra. Originally part of the sprawling Rancho San Jose land grant, the area was settled by lower-class families escaping poverty and war in the American South. The town of Spadra was officially founded in 1866.
He was allegedly so inspired by Phillips, because Phillips had died the richest man when he died in LA County. So when Currier died in the early 1900s, this is his wife's date, by the way, but when he died in the early 1900s, he was the richest man in LA County. And if you see that house, even though we need to get it restored and done, they just poured money into it. So the story I didn't remember, but I remember now, is that we had two board members who were working inside the Phillips Mansion and just cleaning things. That was a husband and wife. And so I guess the husband had stepped out, but the wife didn't know, because she said that while she was working, someone was walking through the house, just opening and closing doors and da-da-da. So when the husband came back, saying, "Oh, I'm back," she flipped out because she thought he was there the whole time. Veteran, but he had a tragic life. I think he was a carpenter in town, and then he went downtown to downtown LA and had a lot of money in his pocket that night, and I guess he was flaunting it too much, and the next day he was found knee deep in mud, and he had been shot in the back of the head. So Pearl Scott, we call her kind of our Juliet grave. She's buried here with her baby. And what happened was, she was married at 19, but she was married to a man that was about 10 years older than her. It's so common that people, girls would marry older guys who were settled and had that money. But the thing was, they're married about a year and she had a baby, but then she quickly lost that baby. And people don't know if it's because of her depression, but they had a foreman working at their orchard, and she ended up running off with him and having an affair with him. So they ran off to downtown LA, spent all her husband's money, and they were there for like 60 days and had a crazy time. And when all his money was gone, she came back alone. She said, please, can I come back home? And her husband let her back in. But then a few days later, I guess the man who had been working had showed up and was looking for her. And then they are last seen walking off to the barn together behind the orchard. And then people hear 2 gunshots. And they go and find them both dead. And allegedly was in her hand saying that she didn't want to live a life without him and that they'd rather be buried together. And so the family didn't listen to their wishes, and they buried her and the baby here that she had previously, and they buried him somewhere in downtown LA. And they believe now that there's probably a skyscraper over his grave.
Follow the Historical Society of Pomona Valley for the rare opportunities to tour Spadra Cemetery.